Hello and welcome to Sakura Society, your Australian home for all things anime. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White, aka the Salt and Pepper Senpai. And joining me today in the studio is a special guest, needs very little introduction, but he's going to get one anyway. Some might know him as the player of the system who are not slaying demons, working on Kettle's farm, captaining the Spearhead Squadron, devouring dumplings, dealing with an evil eye, renting girlfriends, throwing shade at witches' hats, or keeping Gotham safe. Can also be found living his very best dad life, or on YouTube creating video game content and sharing insights into voice acting and the various roles he's played. Approximately 130 of them to be exact, to his 429,000 subscribers. Mr. Alex Lee, thank you so much for stopping on by, man. How might you be doing?
I'm good. That's a really good intro you got down there.
Hey, you did all the hard work. I just sort of put it all together and conveyed it out to the audience.
Work. It takes work to do that too. But thank you so much.
I appreciate that.
Very happy to be here.
No, thank you, man. Thank you. And firstly, I've got to say, what a journey and what a career that you've had so far. To think you weren't really speaking the native tongue of English at 10 years old to making your debut in Daha in the Laws of the Universe at 19, and now 6 years later, being known as probably the voice behind countless beloved characters of some of the world's biggest franchises. It's got to feel pretty good when you sit back and reflect on the last sort of 6 or so years, right?
I mean, it would if I had time to sit down and reflect on the last 6 or so years. But the way this career is, I always have to be on my feet, and I'm always moving to try and meet expectations, hit deadlines, and just move on to the next thing and do my best to output the best that I can possibly do. So maybe one of these days when I have time to sit back and relax and soak it all in. But for now, I'm just very appreciative of all the fans that I've gotten to meet and all the people I've gotten to talk to that have expressed their loves for the series that I'm a part of, and also all the amazing creatives that have been behind all of this. So it's been a very rewarding journey, at least from that front, that I can say.
Yeah, I can imagine. You're a cog in a very fantastic and important machine in so many big franchises. And I'd say, the learning experiences you're taking from jumping from character to character or franchise to franchise probably really helps shape you as a person. So I guess, how would you say that's helped you level up over the last 6 years, Alex?
I think it's, a lot of my career has been, like you said, a learning experience. And I've been very lucky to get a lot of hands-on experience with so many difficult projects, big but also difficult projects, because that's really made me, force me to get good or else get left behind. And it's a situation that a lot of people want to be in and a lot of people want, but they don't understand that once they're in it, do they have what it takes? And sometimes I even doubt myself if I have what it takes, but I still tried my best to pull through in the end. But I feel that throughout the course of my career, I've been fortunate to be blessed with some amazing opportunities. And I feel that luck is a big factor, but also that another important factor is, do you have the ability to make the best of the situation? Do you have the ability to act on that luck? And I've made a lot of mistakes during the way, but I'm just glad that everybody's been patient enough with me to help me get to where I am now. But yeah.
That's really good. I'm a big believer in, mistakes are made for learning. And I think as long as you can take some good away from those less positive experiences, it's going to sort of benefit things for the good, both in the short and the long term. So I figure the main reason we are here today is to talk about Solo Leveling Reawakening, which is out in cinemas in the next couple of days. It's December 5th for us here in Australia and December 4th for the majority of the rest of the world. And I've got to say, Alex, I do find it a little ironic that someone who plays the weakest hunter of all mankind might also have the biggest arms in all the voice acting. How does it feel to be S rank in the gun show?
I wouldn't say that. I do say that I do come from a powerlifting background, so maybe there's still some muscle left here and there, but I feel very regular and ordinary on most days. It's only whenever I have to do press events or photo shoots that I just go into the gym and I just do the Sung Jinwoo routine and just spam the exercises that gets me the most results until I get ready for whatever it is that I need to be ready for. But
yeah, I noticed the sort of the video diary you did for the recent shoot you did with Otaku tied into Solo Leveling, and yeah, you were sort of putting in the work, that's for sure. And I think the final result paid dividends. But yeah, I wanted to know as well, have you got any other real life skills or abilities that you yourself would probably consider S rank?
I wouldn't say that anything is too exceptionally S rank. Honestly, I do have a lot of abilities and skills that I've learned over the years because I've had a lot of interest. And every time I do something, I get very hyper fixated on it. Before I did voice acting, I did illustration and art. So I've drawn a lot and I've learned the human anatomy and art and colors and all that stuff. So drawing is a very big hobby of mine that I rarely ever visit nowadays. And I also used to do graphic design. And like I was mentioning earlier, I also had a phase where I was hyper fixated on lifting and working out. And I competed when I did in high school. But nowadays, I think this is my hyperfixation. I think my job and my career and acting is what I'm kind of keen on nowadays. But other than that, not much. I do that and I go home and I sleep. So that's basically it.
Nothing wrong with that. A simple life is a good life, but who knows, maybe in the future we might see you sort of pen a graphic novel, loosely biopic about the powerlifting game, and then maybe you can then voice yourself in the eventual anime or webtoon that comes out a bit down the line.
We'll see. That would be very cool. That would be very cool.
Hell yeah. So readers of Solo Leveling, they've obviously been hyping up this franchise for years, like first serialized way back in 2016, and then we saw the webtoon release in 2018. But I don't think anyone saw it blowing up the way it did when the anime dropped this past January. Like, I was super hyped, super excited, and very optimistic about what was going to happen. And knowing that A1 had their hands on this was very exciting for me. But were you surprised at just how big Solo Leveling has become and how mainstream it's become, especially in such a short amount of time?
I had a feeling it was going to be big because the hype for it before coming into it. But as an actor, I can't get too caught up into the hype pool of anything because, before I knew that I would sign onto a project, whether or not I'm a part of it, I can't let myself get, or my performance get affected by how the public views the particular franchise. And even before I got the role of Jinwoo in this show, I try not to get overly invested in any roles that I'm not committed to, because then it would just be heartbreak as an actor where you're like, I love this character, but then I can't play him. So everything ever that I ever see, I'm always just trying to be like, oh, that's cool, and then move on, oh, that's cool, and just be a fan or a consumer. But no, I certainly did not see it getting as big as it is now. But I'm very, very happy that it did because we put a lot of work into the show. I know that A1 and Aniplex really believed in the show. Crunchyroll also really, really believed in the show. So I'm glad to see everybody's hard work paying off in terms of where everything is now. So super fun time to be around.
Yeah, and I think one of the main positives that's come off it, obviously, there was a lot of early internet backlash from the hyper fandom and the angry mob that we see, circling the internet all the time about how you were going to voice certain lines and bring this character to life. And I love that you're playful in the way that you jump online, you jump on socials, and you happily interact with fans and potential frenemies, if we want to call it that, which are very gatekeepery with characters. But I feel you did a fantastic job with Jinwoo, and it feels like the entire world feels the same. So hat tip to you for that one.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I always say that whenever you're entering a franchise that's a big deal or a legacy franchise, there's always going to be a lot of pressure and a lot of eyes on you. So I'm no stranger to the pressure and the the nerves. So I just have to remind myself that I'm just here to do the best job I can and just get rid of all those feelings that would hold me back from doing what I would want to see as a fan. So, that video that I made was more so just having fun with the community. No real hate there. No real, again, like I said, I expect the death threats. I expect the naysayers. It comes with everything. It's not surprising. Some people dedicate their lives to a series, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I appreciate everybody's energy, whether it's positive or negative. And again, it's just to have fun. Because sometimes when you're working on stuff like this, you just have to have fun with it,
I totally agree. Like, life's far too short to be serious all the time.
Absolutely,
so being able to take a minute for those lighter moments and just appreciate and embrace and enjoy what we have, and having some fun along the time. It's such a key part of life, at least for me, and it sounds like for yourself too. So it's really good to see. So I wanted to circle back to Reawakening. It's been great to head back through the gate, watching the movie over this past weekend, sort of getting up to speed again. I really loved the pacing of the film, and it felt almost like I was watching like a best of from season one. Like it was just the greatest hits from S1 all the way through. So that it was sort of all killer, no filler in a way. It was just like a sort of thrill ride from the beginning to end, and it really set the tone for what's to come in season 2. But when you sort of sit back and think about season 1 and even Reawakening as a whole, have you got a favorite scene or moment that stands out most to you?
No, I haven't seen the whole thing in full yet because I want to see it in theaters. But from my memory, I think my favorite scene that comes to mind a lot is the scene from episode 6 when he's fighting all the mercenaries and he's forced to kill somebody for the very first time. I thought that was a very cool scene because it showed that our protagonist wasn't exactly always going to be the morally righteous path. And it showed that sometimes you don't have the option to do that. And that's what I really liked about it, is that, it was a moment of awakening of sorts. You could see him cycle and siphon through all of the emotions and lessons that he's learned. And as an actor, it's super fun to do a scene like that, where a character is going through all these different places in his head in such a short amount of time. And then that was also the first time we revealed his darker side. So his voice was drastically different for the first time ever. And it was really fun to bring that out and to see the fan reaction to something like that. So that is my personal favorite scene. And also the animation and music was just unforgettable for me for that particular scene.
Yeah, the production value in season 1 and then sort of seeing it all brought together in Reawakening is phenomenal. Like A1 are in rare air with sort of what they put together, I feel. And I feel like fans are going to be very excited checking it out in the cinema. I'm going to go get along and check it out on Thursday night and get the cinematic experience as well, because everything's better with popcorn. So I'm excited to go back again twice in the week. But I love that with Jinwoo, where he is a real character. Like he's fleshed out. He's not a perfect hero in the traditional sense. Like he's got his flaws. He's dealing with stresses and doubts and being the weakest person in this world for so long, and now seeing him evolve over the series of the first season and now into Reawakening and into future seasons. Excited to see a lot of this content translate to screen. I've read the entirety of the manhwa and I'm obsessed with this story, and I'm excited to see what you do with this character in some big pivotal moments to come in this season and then future seasons. So I think the world can be very excited about that. I wanted to also ask, like with season 2, obviously, threw us right into this Red Gate arc, which is full of, we get S-rank hunters, ice bears, ice elves, and we introduced to a warlord named Baruka. We also get to see the Shadow Army and Igris in action, which is just a metal as hell moment. Like the horns were up, the fists were pumping, seeing these guys take down these hordes of ice elves and then seeing more felled enemies arise. But I wanted to know, Alex, is there anyone in the world, living, dead, fiction, fantasy, real, whatever it might be, that you'd like to see join your own personal Shadow Army? Who would you like to see arise and join you, and why?
That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Honestly, I just don't, it's so hard because I'm like, what would I need a shadow for on a regular day? And honestly, I don't see myself getting into a lot of fights where I would need a lot of muscle.
You got the guns, remember, too, so you should be okay.
I think the smart thing to say would be to get like a billionaire, like a Jeff Bezos. Like you said, living or dead. So I would just have him, I would summon him and I would have him give me his bank account number. And I just have him pay for all my expenses for everything. And I think that would be an amazing use of a shadow, to be honest.
Yeah, he is the ultimate shadow, you could say, and he would fix every problem. Like he would. Proven money solves just about all the world's
exactly.
problems.
If there was anybody that had a problem with me, I could have him hire bodyguards or anything like that. Boom, done. Any health problems, medical bills taken care of.
Hey, Jeff, sort this out for me. Arise, Jeff. Yeah, I love that. All right, so I'd like to ask you as well about your friend Channing Tatum. As we know, the world of solo leveling, it's massive. We've got hunters all around the globe keeping us all safe, which leads me to think that he could be the perfect actor to potentially play Christopher Reed, one of the S-rank hunters from the United States. They've got a real similar look and vibe and feel. What do you think? Could you see our Raging Cajun in the Soloverse?
I would love Channing Tatum to be anywhere in anything that I work on. I got to meet the guy at one of the premieres, and he was such a blast. he came up to me and he was like, dude, I've been hearing your work nonstop, because he was watching Demon Slayer, and it was such a treat to hear, because I'm like, dude, I've been watching your work nonstop. So any opportunity in the future to ever work with him on something official would be a dream come true. So I'm like, Crunchyroll, if you can make that happen, hell yeah. But we'll see.
And I reckon he'd be up to it. Like he's clearly a guy that enjoys.
He's an anime
fun.
fan. Yeah, no, he's an
anime fan,
sure.
and who knows, maybe they can sort of recast Christopher Reed and have him down south so we can hear more of that sort of Cajun-based Gambit-inspired accent.
That's true. That would be very fun.
Oh yeah. All right. So lastly, the world now has witnessed your infamous Araya scene, which was brutal and intense, and it also had you coughing up blood in the days to follow. I'd love to request, if I may, that you deliver a line or two from those scenes in your best Australian accent.
Oh man, that's so hard. Why would you ask me this? The only thing I know Australian accent from is all of the Michael Cusack cartoons. So like the Koala Man and stuff like that. So my Australian accent is really bad because it's purely based on Koala Man and also Pim from Smiling Friends.
That's okay. That's okay. We're pretty carefree, go with the flow folks over here. So I don't think you're going to offend anybody by you're giving us some Koala Man inspired Sung Jinwoo here.
I mean, what do they say over there? They say the word ute a lot.
We do say the word ute, mate. How the bloody hell are you?
Get in the ute, mate.
Something like that. Yeah. What do you got for me?
Do they say oi? Do they say oi down there?
We do say oi. Yeah.
Okay. Oi, Igris, get in the ute. Come on. We got to go and pick up Uncle Beru. There you go. It's terrible. It's awful.
It's not bad. I would have also accepted something like, oi, Igris, mate. Wakey, hands off Snakey, get in the bloody ute, let's go see Beru. But like,
that's
what?
True,
I think you did pretty damn well there, man. So thank you for that.
Pretty close. No, it's terrible. Thank you, Brandon.
No worries, Alex. But lastly, man, what's next for Sung Jinwoo, and also what's next for you, Alex? What do you got? You're working on that you want to shout out before we close this down?
For Sung Jinwoo, season 2 is coming early next year. That's gonna be awesome. Theatrical release is amazing. Always wanted to see it in theaters. For me, I guess there's another show coming out, or is airing right now, called Dandadan, that I'll be making an appearance on very soon. But other than that, everything else is a secret for now. So you'll just have to wait for whatever it is that I get to announce next. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on.
No, thank you so much. And yeah, can't wait to see what you've got cooking with Jiji in a couple of weeks. So
for sure.
Get excited, but appreciate your time, and all the best with the rest of the year, man. And happy holidays for Christmas.
Yeah, likewise. Take it easy.
All right. Thanks, everybody.